Welcome to the Newbes Podcast, episode number 8. My name is Marques Minute. I am a co-op student here at New Beginnings, and today I am behind the mic with Samrah and Matt. I know the questions, they don't. Let's see what we can get into. Welcome, Matt, and welcome, Samrah. You guys are guests here for once. Big turntable here.
Yeah, seriously.
I work with you guys. I'm a co-op student here, but obviously I don't know you on a deeper level. For those who don't know me, I'm Marques. I'm a co-op student. I started my placement this month here at New Beginnings. Really eager to be here and really eager to learn a lot about you guys today.
Hey, we're finally excited to talk about ourselves.
We're on the other side today, which is new and fresh and exciting.
100%. So I think to get started, I'll ask you guys some icebreakers maybe just to start, just to get to really know about you guys.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll start with Matt. Matt, what would you say is something that most people don't know about you?
I don't know. I talk a lot, so I think
Really?
I think the list is shorter of things that vice versa. But one thing that people don't know about me, I actually have had quite the collection of jobs and I currently have quite the collection of jobs. I am a youth and transition worker here. I am a family services coordinator at the Ronald McDonald House in the hospital.
Okay.
And I am newly the men's Fresh Start group counselor at the Hiatus House.
Congratulations.
Yay.
That's awesome.
That was
awesome.
a cool experience. I'm looking forward to that.
Samrah?
I think a lot of people don't know that I am a musical artist. So I like to write my own music. I like to make my own melodies, and I'm also a vocalist. So that's
awesome.
A little side hobby of mine.
I knew that.
Are we going to hear one of your songs?
Maybe soon.
Drop a beat. Let's
Yeah.
hear it.
Samrah album?
Samrah album. That might be the next episode. Who knows?
How did you two both get involved with New Beginnings? What started it all for you guys?
I was kind of in the field already. I had a little weekend job in the field, and I just loved it so much that I wanted to fill up more of my time with it. And I saw a posting for the employment position, and employment is one of my specialties, I feel. So I went for it, and thankfully it led me to a great staff, a great environment, and I'm so happy to do what I do.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
Me, on the contrary, I was kind of in this little cycle of not knowing where I wanted to go next in my life. I was not stuck, but I was working at the same job for 10 years. It was my first job ever. And I just, every time an opportunity came up, I was too comfortable there. And I never really wanted to step outside of that comfort zone. And then just eventually came time for me to get out of there. And a job posting came up here. And I'm just so glad that I took it because it's been such a great opportunity. It's led me to meet so many great people. It's got me on the pod. I get to meet cool people like you.
Thank you.
So, I'm just looking forward to continuing my journey here.
Yeah, no, I can definitely agree. Stepping out of that comfortability bubble can be a lot for a lot of people. I know even before I started my OPS placement here, there was that stepping out period where you leave high school and you leave all your friends behind and you realize you hit that point where, you just realize you got to do something for yourself. And everybody moves on at one point. So it's glad that you moved on. You found where you enjoy yourself. And we enjoy having you here.
I'm
Thanks,
glad.
Marques. We like having you here.
And then what would you say if you could describe yourself in 3 words?
Ooh, I don't think 3's enough.
Yeah. How much time do we have?
Yeah, we might need some more. If I could describe myself in 3 words, I would probably say I am resilient. I would say that I am creative. And I would say that I also am hardworking.
Yeah. I might. Every single
steal,
time
it's
we
okay.
do something like this, Samrah always just steals at least one of my examples. But I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to say one of my words is loving. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Little teddy bear.
Hardworking is definitely one of them, and determined, I think, they're kind of similar in a way, but definitely 3 words I'd use to describe myself.
You are very determined.
Yeah, no, you definitely strike me as a go-getter. You really want to go out and get what you want for yourself, and that's amazing, really, truly. To move on, I think we'll move on to more of a deep, serious talk here, some personal reflection, if that's all right with you guys.
Sure, let's get into
I'm
it.
going to need to take a drink of this tea.
I'm
I'll
scared.
take this my coffee here too.
Nice mug.
Thank you. Thank you, Zeina. So obviously you guys have been doing the podcast for a very long time. This is episode 8 now, to my knowledge. You guys have had a lot of guests. Has there ever been a moment where a guest or maybe a topic has changed your guys' thought?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just like there's so many different avenues that you can go down. It can be some personal hardships some of our guests have gone through.
100%.
We've had some very knowledgeable people on that are just experts in certain areas in their own field. I'm going to kind of go the route from one of our more recent episodes. We had a personal trainer on named Sam, and she started talking about how women have to train a little bit differently than men, and some of the things they need to do pre-workout, post-workout. And it just never dawned to me that women need to approach that avenue differently than men. And she kind of like really sat there and explained things to me. And it was something that I still think about, and something that like I now think of different ways of like working out, hygiene, healthy relationships, all that kind of like through that conversation with her.
Yeah, it's so important to get that third party view, especially when you're unaware of things. Getting that third party view from somebody else really helps.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think mine was probably when we sat down with the executive director of New Beginnings, Stacy, when she told us that she kind of hopped from program to program and tried to like learn as much as she could from the different services that we offer. I think that changed my perspective massively, because I got hired for one thing, but now it opens the doors for me to explore and figure out what other capabilities I can kind of apply from my own point of view.
And that being encouraged by like the superiors and different management
Yeah.
throughout both buildings, if
Right.
it's a good fit for you and something that's going to help project you to a different like
Trajectory.
Yeah.
You might not even know what you love until it randomly pops up,
No,
right? And you're like, oh,
100%.
that's what I like to do. Yeah.
Now, obviously, as youth outreach workers, you guys both preach a lot about mental health. Taking care of your own mental health is important. How do you guys do that?
Here we go. I always make sure to have something to look forward to on my weekend. I mean, I'm working on the weekend too, but typically less shifts than I do during the week.
Yeah.
So whether it's even like a little snack I like a little like I went to Crumble this weekend, Crumble cookies.
Ooh, crumble
and
cookie.
We love Crumble cookies, and I treated myself because I worked hard all week. So
Is there one in Windsor?
no, I had to
yet.
cross over.
You gotta bring me back. Yeah, you gotta bring me back some
Yeah,
next time.
we have Craig's cookies, which is just as good in Windsor on Wyandotte. Shout out Craig's.
Shout out, Craig.
Shout out Craig. But yeah, just always having something to look forward to, whether that's like a little sweet treat, seeing my friends, listening to like music, just blocking off an hour to just sit there and chill, like is just so rewarding to me because I'm
Music
always
is so
working.
real.
Oh, so real.
music.
Yeah.
A
us
whole
too.
different type of therapy. Quite frankly, before I got into this line of work, I really didn't even take my own mental health into consideration. I like from the minute I graduated high school up until, I mean, currently, I've always been in such like a go, go, go mode where like I've always been like in school, having multiple jobs. And then I've also like kept myself busy. I've gotten married, had a kid, had a house, 2 dogs. Like I'm always like doing something where I was like, I didn't even have time to consider my own mental health. But having someone very close to me like Samrah, she's actually given me different like avenues and resources of like how she goes about her own mental health. And I've tried to like apply that to my own life.
That's amazing. We love Samrah for that.
Yeah, for real.
Thanks so much.
No, we bounce it off of each other. Like
Yeah.
we said, having like one person you can like go to and just like be like, man, I'm having a bad day. Like
Definitely.
it's so comforting.
Yeah, no, you really just need that person that you can open up to.
Yeah.
I guess we'll go on to this one. Have you guys ever felt pressure to perform a certain version of yourself at work?
Oh, yeah, definitely so. But I just always lead with honesty, and I'll always just tell my manager, like, look, like, it's been a day. Like, and I think that's something that, you know, your employer will value is the honesty.
100%.
I mean, to a certain extent. But yeah, there's been times where you don't always feel 100 when you come to work every day. And that's just something that resilience comes in, because you got to tell yourself like, okay, I can get through the day. I just got to make it till the end and I'll be good.
I feel like it's almost more you than me, because you are in employment and you have to give off that very professional vibe almost at all times with all clients.
Yeah.
Whereas I have a more like one-on-one, like personal type relationship where it's not in an office setting and I'm not necessarily here in my office one-on-one with them.
Yeah.
So I kind of get to be not less professional, but more like
Casual, like
Yeah.
chill. Yeah.
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 So like I actually like this about my job. I get to be my own version of myself, and my clients have really gravitated towards that. So I don't necessarily have to put on the front, because they enjoy being like with me, but then they also like value, I think, the real,
The honesty and the true
yeah,
you.
yeah,
The authenticity.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good word.
Thanks.
We need to have like a thesaurus
like a $10 word.
on there.
Authenticity.
It's like $10 right there. That's a $10 word.
Hey, cough it up.
All right. I guess the last one we'll do for the personal reflection is, what New Beginnings topic challenged you guys the most emotionally on an emotional level?
Like in terms of the podcast, like
Yeah, we can do the
themes and whatnot?
podcast. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to
a good
steal
question.
one before Samrah steals it because she always tends to do that. But we had an episode, and the title of the episode was becoming comfortable with the uncomfortable. And I think that's just something that we've been able to relay throughout like the podcast, seeming like, because this is new to us too, like this was an uncomfortable setting for us when we first started. It's still a little uncomfortable now, but we're becoming more comfortable in this scenery and with a camera and a ring light in our face and Zeina staring at us, and but also like just becoming comfortable. Like I have been in various uncomfortable situations with my clients when they're in crisis or they're not sure if they're going to have a house to live in the next day or when they're going to eat their next meal. And you have to be able to sit there, take in what they're telling you, but also try to provide good advice and have the resources available to point them in the right direction. So that is something that a couple of years ago from now, I would have been like, I have no idea what to tell you, where to go, what to do. But now, since I've been here for a few months, over half a year now, I kind of have those answers and I'm more comfortable giving that advice.
That's awesome.
That's a really good point, Matt. I like how you touched on like your own kind of experience with helping clients, because we also have our own emotions and then you're also holding room for more people's emotions. And it's not just our clients, it's your loved ones too. Like it's your family members, it's your friends. Like you're holding so many different emotions, and being able to kind of recognize and prioritize those, putting yourself first, is always a really
100%.
important thing to remember in this field.
Definitely.
All right. Kind of sectioning off of what you said, getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. We'll go on to something. What would you guys say is something that you wished today's youth talked about more openly?
Honestly, what they're struggling with.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
I feel like obviously they come to us with their problems, but just letting it all out and just letting us know like, okay, you gave me a solution, but it still doesn't work because this, that. You know what I mean? Like, and that's
Right.
okay. Not every solution is going to be the quick fix. I
Yeah,
don't-
it's not like black and white. There's a lot
No.
of gray area.
100%.
And I think especially with the youth now, like it's okay to laugh at your mental health, which is fine if you use humor as like a coping mechanism. It's a really popular coping
I
mechanism.
definitely do.
Oh, all the time.
Laugh, say, don't cry.
Yeah, we literally do that all the time. But at some point, you got to buckle down and you got to be like, okay, this is real. Like, I need to tell somebody this. And there is still a stigma around mental health right now.
100%.
And thankfully, it's something I find we're all growing out of. But if we could just run a little faster, it might be a little better.
Yeah, no, I can definitely agree with that. You know, when growing up through in high school, grade 9, 10, that stigma was definitely there, that peer pressure that, you know, it wasn't proper to talk out about your mental health, and you know, you would bury that inside of you and you wouldn't be able to talk about it, and eventually that plays such a key factor in somebody. So now that in today's generation we have people such as yourself who are preaching that mental health and preaching people to do what they need to do is just so amazing. So we thank you guys for that.
Well, I'm glad that we can be those voices for those people.
Yes. Advocacy always.
And then to subsection off of that, we'll put it in reversal there. What's one thing you think adults misunderstand about the youth today?
That's a great question. I like, just like a side note, like the questions that you're asking
Thank you
us,
so much.
like we probably going to have to bring you on as like a permanent like consultant, because I've been struggling to come up with some of these questions and you're
Yeah.
just popping them all off. You're doing
Glad
a
I
great
can
job.
provoke some deep thought process here.
Definitely doing
definitely.
that, Marques. Definitely. You want to take this one?
I mean, I think relating back to one of our, I think it was our third episode with Sabby. There's a stigma with parents and whatnot, like
100%.
not acknowledging their own mental health, but trying to sweep the mental health of like their children kind of under the rug and like pretend that they still have like this perfect family in a way, instead of like being more open with their feelings and being more open and available for their children to talk about their mental health. I think that like just having an open, safe space in your own home is huge, and that's something that I'm glad that I'm going to be able to provide for my daughter and any other future children that I have, is that like I'm going to be that emotionally available parent that they can rely on for if they're struggling with anything.
That's amazing.
That
and
is
we do see that
amazing.
a lot, you know, parents, especially because Windsor is just the greater Essex County area, is such a diverse place. We have people coming from all over, you know, maybe where they're coming from, it's, you know, depression isn't a thing out there. They don't recognize it like that. So it's downplayed. So to be able to advocate to those adults that mental health is a real thing and that your child could have it and for them to get support is amazing.
100%. Also, like, of course, we've all experienced our fair share of mental health. And it's
Obviously.
just, once you overcome a barrier, it doesn't mean that now that you've learned the coping mechanisms and now that it's easier to you, that it's going to be as easy to your client.
Right.
Because there's a lot of things where you could look at and be like, why wouldn't you just do this?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not that simple. And I think a lot of people are under the impression of, oh, well, if you just ate and went to bed or put your phone down, you'd be fine. But it's like, no, like mental health is real and there's real barriers that we kind of have to work through together.
Yeah, no two people are like wired the same. So you have
Yeah.
to try to find ways that work for each individual person.
Especially they go outside, go for a walk, get some air.
Yeah, literally.
Eat a granola bar, you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's something I learned in the field. Because like when
That's
I
what
had,
I do.
you do, Matt's addicted to granola bars.
No, but they're good. Like especially
They
the
are
chocolate covered ones. Like we used to get these Fiber One, I think was the brand. It's Fiber One, and they would come like with this chocolate drizzle. Amazing.
The oat and chocolate one. I've
Yes,
been eating those.
yes,
They're
those
really,
are
really
really
good.
good.
Those
Those
are
are really
really
good.
yummy.
And then just for the last question of this part, we'll go with, if you could leave youth listening today with one piece of advice, each from yourself, what would it be?
I would say always stay true to yourself. Don't worry about what your friends are doing. Don't worry about what your worry about what your family's doing to an extent.
To an extent.
Just make sure that you make yourself a priority and always put yourself first when you're in a transitional state, which is most of our youth because you're growing. So yeah, stay true to you, be you, and always just do what feels authentic to you.
Yeah. Mine, I think I'm going to go the avenue of like, don't be afraid to reach out. Like that's why like people like Samrah and I and the rest of the employees here at New Beginnings and several other youth advocacy places throughout the community, like they're there for a reason. And kind of getting over your fear of asking for that help and like being vulnerable in that aspect, it will just lead to so many different people willing to help you on a daily basis. But you have to be the one to make that jump.
100%. You can't do it. You know, you can't just have somebody do it for
Like
you.
I can't just go start knocking on doors being like, hey, do you need help?
No,
Like-
100%.
Like if you come here, you're never going to get turned away.
But you have to be willing to make that
But you have to,
determination to get
you
yourself
have to
out.
get
Yeah.
here somehow, some way, walk, bus,
Yeah.
ride your bike, ask your parents. The minute you step in those doors, somebody is going to be able to help you in some way, or
100%.
point you to somewhere else that can give you that next piece of advice if we can't. But we're pretty knowledgeable here. We should be able to.
I think they'll be okay coming into these doors.
Yeah, 100%. We're very welcoming here.
Yes.
Kind of just tapping back to who you guys are. I know I kind of skipped this question. What would you say your guys' teenage self is like? Like we're talking teenage Samrah, teenage Matt, like
We were
grade
actually
10, 11 high school.
We were just talking about grade 11, grade 12 Samrah earlier today.
We were talking about her. She was an interesting girl, I'll tell you that. Yeah, it was interesting. I think I dealt with a lot of mental health and a lot
100%.
of just putting myself in horrible situations. And it was almost like a type of like self-harm almost. Like I almost wanted like the chaos and I was just chasing like the next thing.
Yeah.
And if myself now looked back at teenage self, I think we'd have a very long, deep conversation about loving yourself and knowing that you're worth way more than just what the world thinks that you should have.
Which is so important. Like really being able to love yourself instead of realizing that like the world doesn't judge you. You need to love yourself for who you are and not care about what
Exactly.
anybody else thinks.
And that's the thing is I would have things about myself and I'd be like, oh, I'm so lame. And I'd
Yeah.
like hide them and then act like something else. And then as I got older, like that's what became cool. And I was like, I've been that.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
could have done that from the start. Like,
Yeah.
That was kind of I find overcompensated for my insecurities.
Yes.
So I suffered with a lot of like body positivity or lack thereof when I was younger, and I was like I wasn't like super chubby, but I was chubby enough where
Right.
like in my eyes I looked like I was obese, and I developed this other persona to like pretend like I wasn't feeling like that inside. So then I would come off at times as cocky and this, that, and the other, and overconfident, where inside I was feeling the complete opposite, but that was not the only way I could really deal with that per se.
Yeah.
But those insecurities also followed me into different like avenues and different settings. Like I now, if I went back to school, I'd be in that front row. I'd want to learn. I'd want to ask questions. I wouldn't be
Right.
scared to be called upon. In high school, I was sitting in the very back, head down. Don't ask me anything because I'm not paying attention. I'm not going to be able to give you the right answer. And that scared the hell out of me.
That is, yeah. It was a big thing back then.
Yeah, but like just like the insecurities traveled from place to place, whereas if I kind of dealt with them and talked openly about them at that time, I feel like I could have like gotten over that, and then that would have led me to be a better student, a better friend, and better partner, like anything like that. It all is linked in some way or another, and I wish I kind of would have just nipped that in the butt right away.
Yeah.
100%.
That goes to show like high school does not define you,
Yeah,
or where you're
definitely.
at right now in your youth does not define you.
Yeah.
Because you're going to grow and you're going to look back and you're eventually going to get to do all the things you wished you would have done back then.
No, high school is definitely the place where you make memories. Try not to take high school for granted because that's got a lot of memories, but a lot of great education in there too.
Oh, yeah.
To kind of end the question here, I want to ask you guys, what do you guys think your teenage selves would think about you guys now, where you are at New Beginnings?
I think they'd be proud.
I think so too.
Young Matt would probably be like, what is New Beginnings and why are you working with young people? Because at one point I was just dead set on being a police officer, and I never thought of a different version of myself ever. And then as I grew and found what my strengths were, I applied them more now to the social service field, and like that's where I really belong, I find.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I think my answer is very similar. I think teenage Sam would be very proud of where I am today, but I don't think teenage Sam would be surprised of where Sam is today, because this is like my field that I work in is something I've truly wanted to do, and I was lucky enough to know what I wanted to do at such a young age. I just
That is
didn't know
lucky.
how I was going to get there. Thank you.
I'm about 5 years too late to this field.
And look, we're in the same room.
We are.
We're good.
Everyone takes their own path.
Exactly.
100%.
And I had no idea how I was going to get here. And then naturally, like my old job before this, like I didn't get fired, but they were getting rid of my position. So they were kind of like closing out, and I was freaking out. And I was like, what do I do? What do I do? And shout out to my work mom at the time. She literally forced me to apply to like so many different positions in my field, because she's like, don't let that education go to waste. And she honestly did kind of changed my life, because I pushed myself and did what I always wanted to do. So
Yeah, no, that can be very, very difficult for some, losing the job that, you're dead set on, especially for some who like
Yeah.
just come into the job field and you're like, that's where I'm going to stay. I'm not moving
Yeah.
anywhere else. This is my career field.
exactly. No, it feels good. It's very fulfilling.
Perfect. So I think we're ready to go into the Marques Minute, the segment, the special segment created by me and me only here for this episode of the New Beginnings podcast.
Said I did this.
I did do this.
You did do this.
Alrighty, and welcome to this segment. This is a special segment done by me. This is called the Marques Minute. Brand new here on here. I'm not sure if we're going to keep it around. Special guest so far, but should I come back, this will be coming back.
This is unique to you.
Pretty much what the Marques Minute is I'm going to ask our lovely guests here, Matt and Samrah, one question. They have 1 minute to answer the question, and they don't really get to think about it. This is on the spot, just a raw question.
Are we going by turn, or
This
we're both
is by
supposed to
this
just...
is by turn. This is by turn.
Okay.
Okay, so Matt, your question is, what is something small someone did for you that changed your whole day or maybe even your whole life?
Oh, the timer's starting. Oh no.
That's hard.
Oh my god. Oh yeah. Okay. So in grade 6, I was very much so into like art and visual art and drawing and whatnot, but like I kind of did it like behind closed doors. I really wasn't open about it. Like I kind of just did it like as a hobby in my spare time. And my grade 6 teacher, Miss Azar, great lady.
Shout out, Miss Azar.
Shout out
Shout out
Miss
Miss
Azar.
Azar.
She noticed it like in class and was like, hey, like this is like a real talent of yours. Gather up a bunch of your drawings, like make a little portfolio, and I'm going to send it off to Sports Illustrated for Kids magazine.
Ooh, big boy.
And she did. And we didn't hear back from them for like forever. I'm like, whatever. Like it wasn't good enough to get on the magazine or anything like that. And I had a subscription. And then one day I'm looking through and one of them got into the magazine. And then that kind of like reignited the flame of like my interest in that, and I continued to draw.
I think your minute's up.
Shout out Miss Azar, you're the best.
Miss Haidar. Shout out Miss
Azar,
Haidar.
queen.
Now,
Absolute
your
queen.
question, Samrah,
Oh boy, here we
is-
go. Why are you laughing?
what is something you could do if you knew you wouldn't fail?
Oh, I would be an international pop star sensation. I would be.
Who gave her this idea?
I would be on stage. Wicka, wicka, like I would be tearing it up on stage.
Wicca-ing? All right.
Yeah, we're wicking.
wicking.
Wicking at Coachella. You gonna let me follow?
Oh my God, Coachella.
At Coachella. And honestly, it's not even because of the fame. It's just because being on stage is a big dream of mine. And any auditorium I go into, whether it's like a play or a concert or whatever, when I see a stage, my heart's going do 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 do.
That, that should be me. That should be me.
That should, yeah. we
should
could
be
perform
me.
together.
Yeah, holding your hand.
That's how
That should be me.
video. But no, literally, it just makes me so excited. And something about like a microphone and like just being loud and on stage and running everywhere and
You
like
being
just,
loud?
Good Lord.
yeah, is that new?
Is it a good idea to give you a microphone and put you on a stage, really?
No, it's not. But yeah, I would definitely be some sort of performer.
The
where I
minute
could-
is up.
The minute is up. All right, so wanted to thank you guys both, Matt and Samrah, for the Marques Minute here. That was a great segment.
That was
Thank
awesome.
you, Marques. Yeah, that was
such
fun.
a unique idea. I can't believe we didn't think about it at first.
Right.
It was awesome. So obviously I've had a great time here flipping the switch, asking you guys a question, putting you guys in the hot seat. It's been amazing being here. I think that's all the time we have for the podcast today.
I think so. And quite frankly, the seat, it was hot.
The seat was definitely
It was
hot.
very hot.
It gave me a newfound appreciation for what our guests have to experience when they get in here. It is
Yeah.
intimidating, not really knowing like what's coming. Like we purposely didn't really look at the questions. We wanted it
Yeah.
to be a genuine response. And
Yep.
it is hard. It's
hard.
And it's a good skill to have, and it just makes me like applaud the guests that we've had because there's been so much
Honestly.
great conversation and intel that they've been able to provide. And I kind of now want to be a guest on more podcasts.
Right,
So
that was
shout
kind of
out to the
fun
Newbes
being on the
Podcast,
other
guys.
side. Well, thank you, Marques, again for flipping the script and
course.
being here with us today.
So glad.
Guys, what can I say? Marques did the damn thing.
I did do my thing.
He
I
did.
do my
He
thing.
did his thing. And if you guys want to check out more of Marques in the future and more of Matt and I, you can catch us on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, Facebook.
that's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we will see you soon
Don't be new.
to the Newbes Podcast.
Period.
See you later, guys.